Good evening, everyone. Well, I've got something interesting for you today. Rust has two Tier 3 rifles, the AK and the LR. One craftable, one not. For years, the Rust community has seen the LR as a role-player type gun. They like the AK because it does more damage. It's got a spray pattern. It's a more skill-based gun. You use the LR, you seem like, you're so bad, you get the AR, you're so bad, oh my god, no dog water. However, recently, say about past 2.5 years, the LR has gained so much popularity, it's seen as the AK's equal now. When I started, if that was a thing, oh my god. But anyway, something that's always interested me is why? Why is the LR just now become a more popular gun? Nothing's changed about it. It's been the same gun for years. So why are people using it now? Did someone just apparently just remember it existed or something? Simple answer is the AK does more damage, so obviously you'd want to think it does more damage. Fire rate is virtually the same. The DPS is quite a bit higher. So why would you not use the AK? But then why now is the LR just started becoming popular? If it's just a worse gun, why would it ever become popular? For a simple reason. The LR is just more reliable as a gun than the AK. For example, we all know every gun has a spray pattern. The LR's is a lot easier than the AK's. No one spends thousands of hours training for an LR spray. Many call this the bad thing about the LR, as it requires no skill, so it's not a skill-based gun like the AK, where you literally have to spend every day of your life training for just a mediocre spray. When you're shooting a guy with an AK 100 meters away, you're trying to worry about where he's going, how far he is, if he's behind cover or not, just everything about that. Bullet drop as well, the accuracy of the gun, all of these are just more factors you have to worry about when you're shooting at a guy. The less factors you got to worry about, the better it's going to be. So the LR having a better spray is already taken a big factor off it. Anyway, let's get into the stats of these guns. The AK does 50 damage, has an accuracy of 4, rate of fire of 450, effective range of 188 meters, and around 185 damage per second. Now the LR does 40 damage, has an accuracy of 4, has a fire of 500 shots, effective range of 188 shots, and DPS of 160. So what does this all mean? Basically, this means the LR has a higher rate of fire, less damage. The AK does a lot more damage with a tiny bit slower rate of fire. That would put AK in first anyway, right? Of course not. Like I said before, the LR has less recoil, meaning you have to worry less about the recoil itself and more where your shots are going. That has a huge impact. It turns the actual downside of the AK, its terribly difficult recoil, and just removes it at the cost of some damage. I think this is worthwhile. It only takes one more shot to kill a full metal. One more shot. And you can put more bullets out there. If you can hit more of those shots, which is statistically easier with an LR, then you're winning that fight. You win. Statistically, you win. Skill only matters to such a degree. There are times and places where skill can just be irrelevant. You could have 8,000 hours fighting a guy with 200 hours. If they know that spray just a tiny bit, they'll be able to outgun your AK. They will. They just will. It's an easier gun to use. They just will outgun it. Let alone if a player with, say, 8,000 hours gets that LR and knows that spray, they quite literally cannot be stopped. They will outrange an AK. They'll outgun an AK. They will hit more shots than an AK. They'll burn through ammo a little faster, but that's acceptable, because you'll just be killing more people. You'll literally just be getting more kits and more ammo. But here comes the downside of the LR. You cannot craft an LR. You cannot. You can only find them or buy them. You buy them for 500 Scrapper Bandit, quite expensive, or you go to Oil Rig, Launch, Milton, wherever, and just open up elite crates for it. But the AK, on the other hand, you can find those a lot easier, and you can craft them. Granted, the crafting price is unnecessarily expensive, but you can get them a lot easier than you can an LR. So, what does this all mean? Which is better? I'd say the LR. I'd say the LR is better. That's only because the LR is made to be better. The LR is supposed to be a better gun. There's a reason you can't craft an LR, but you can an AK. The LR is supposed to be a tier above the AK. We've just never seen it that way. That goes with all military-grade guns. The M2, the M9, the SPAS, the MP5, but you can craft that for some weird reason. But they're better. So the idea the AK is just better than the LR statistically is just not really true. The LR can do more than an AK. The AK is more versatile, I'll give it that. The LR is much more designed for a slightly medium to long range engagements. The AK is made for pretty much anything, but the LR is still going to win the majority of fights that you see in, say, these AK roams on Vital or whatever. All in all, I say the LR comes out on top. Thanks for making this far in the video. You subscribing will be epic. Next video I'm making is about the wipe, so give it a day or so.